Yeah, really good.
Okay, I recorded the or
Yeah.
us recording. Awesome. First of all, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we're doing this. Okay,
Me too, actually. I'm excited. I've made a few notes, so I'll probably just chat.
sure. I will try not to laugh too much, which I usually do. Okay. Hi Sharon. Thank you so much for being here today and that you agreed to share your story. I'm super excited to hear about that. First of all, I'll ask you just to share maybe your story, what you experienced, what you went through before you came to see me, and yeah, what bothered you, what you were not happy with.
Um, so just before I found you, I was in a real bad cycle of emotional eating, binge eating, overeating, just like eating mindlessly. I wasn't really thinking about what I was eating basically. And then like leading, like I've always had a history of like fasting, trying all like the fad diets, Weight Watchers, 5-2 diet, just anything that would make me lose weight.
Mhm.
And I just was in this like real bad like mental trap, I guess, of like feeling shit about myself and just, never feeling good enough. I really had really low self-esteem about my body. And so then my way of dealing with that was through food. So I'd like be miserable. So then I'd eat more to make me feel good, but then I'd feel awful about myself and guilty and disgusting and ashamed because I'd like gone on these massive binges and I'd like have like a binging session and be really kind of like shocked about how much I've managed to eat.
Mhm. Yeah, and can you please share, like you said, you've done like some diets, you've done the Weight Watchers, which was this thing was quite popular for a while. Can you please share like how did it work for you? Maybe the results you achieved, what happened after?
Yeah, so like when I was doing it and I was like focused on Weight Watchers, I was very disciplined, counting all my points and losing the weight and feeling good. And then and again with the 5-2 diet, I lost a lot of weight a few years ago, but um then something really emotional happened. Like I came out of a long-term relationship and it just completely derailed me. So I was probably like a size 10 and I'm like almost 6 foot. So for me, that's like tiny.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't like happy about it. Even though I was that size, I was still obsessed with food. I still wouldn't eat anything. I was obsessed with looking fat and constantly like, do I look fat in this? And even though I'd reached my dream weight, I was still like unhappy. And it basically just dominated everything. And my period stopped for 2 years as well because I was obviously so unhealthy. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it was.
How long have you been on the Weight Watchers for?
So that was when I was on the 5-2 diet. So I was very restrictive with my eating. It was very disordered. And then when I came out of the relationship, that's when I kind of like used food as the coping mechanism the other way. And then I ate too much. And then that's when the binging started. And then I basically just put all the weight back on and more like, and it was then that's when kind of like the cycle started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. And then what happened after? So you've tried the different diets, you've tried all these things. And for example, by the time you came to see me, did you know anything about hypnosis at that time, like hypnosis for weight loss, or like what happened? How did you in general came to understanding that you want to try it with me?
Yeah, so my housemate's mum had hypnotherapy for weight loss and she'd had really good results. And so I was like, you know what? I've tried all the diets, I've tried everything. I feel trapped in this cycle again. Like I don't know what else to do. And so then I just Googled like hypnotherapy for weight loss, and then you came up, and then I read the reviews, and then we had the diagnostic, and I thought about it because obviously it's like an investment. It's not cheap. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what, just just do it and see what happens, and absolutely no regrets. Like, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much. And actually, what maybe was that thing that made you deciding that I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna make this investment? Because you're absolutely correct. It's an investment, of course, financial, but also it's a commitment, a certain, for your time, for your belief. Again, investing into something and trying to achieve this. It's emotional investment as well. So, what made you what caused you to make this final decision? Okay, I'm gonna go for it.
I think it was something you said, how the program worked, and you explained like the 3 different levels, and you were like, you explained like the VIP one, like with you get the one-on-one sessions, and what really struck me was you were like, okay, we can do the surface level stuff, and you can lose weight, and you can like eat better, make better choices, all that stuff will work. But you were like, if we have the one-on-one sessions, we'll get those weeds out and actually like deal with the problem and the cause of the emotional eating. Yeah. And I was just like, ultimately that's what I need. Like my emotions were all over the place, and I was just stuck inside my own head feeling so shit about myself. And I was like, nah, this is it. And we were talking, you were in the diagnostic, you were like, okay, so you're 36 now, imagine in 10 years time and you're still going through this cycle and this process, like what does that look like for you in 10 years? And I was like, I don't want to be still doing this in 10 years. Like, so that was kind of the deciding factor. I was like, let's just do it.
Okay, awesome. I'm super excited to hear about you sharing like what's have you achieved your results, the changes that you've noticed from like super tiny one to like more significant. Like, can you please share what's your situation now?
Well, honestly, I don't even know like where to begin. Like, I feel like I just want to say, like, it hasn't just changed the way that I eat and my relationship with food. Like, it's impacted like other areas of my life as well. So in terms of like the eating and like the binging, that's stopped. Like, I don't binge at all. Like, if I'm at home in an afternoon, I used to literally just be like back and forth to the fridge, or just like to the cupboard, eat everything that I possibly can, like just thinking about food all the time. But now that just doesn't happen. Like, it's unreal. And like, I would have like a jar of peanut butter. That was like my Achilles heel. And I would just literally spoon it out of the jar. Like, I could smash a jar in like 3 days. And now I can have a jar for like 3 or 4 weeks, and just even being able to have it in the house is amazing. It's a huge deal. And like, over Easter, like, I brought an Easter egg, and it took me like a week and a half to eat an Easter egg, whereas before I would have eaten like the Easter egg, then a family size bar of chocolate, and then crisps. Like, you know when you're like, oh, I need something sweet now, I need something savory, like,
Yeah.
but now I'll just have like a taste of something and then be like, yeah, I feel satisfied. And like today, I just went out for lunch with my friend, and I had a salad, and I felt so full, so I just boxed half of the salad and brought it home, and I'll have it for dinner. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, it's a salad, I can eat all of it because it's healthy, like it doesn't matter. But now I'm learning that like overeating is overeating, like regardless of what it is. Like, I feel so much more tuned into my body, and I'm like accepting, okay, my body feels full, I don't need to continue eating.
Amazing. And
yes,
important to hear that there is a peanut butter at home, there is an Easter egg at home, there is some chocolate at home. So these things, we don't say no, we don't say if something is good, something is bad. There's no maybe it's better for you to say, do we have any meal plans, any restrictions, anything that you can't eat, no carbs, no sugars, or something like this?
Yeah, and because I've like tried vegan, I've tried, like eliminating dairy, and I'm like, oh, if I cut out dairy, then I won't eat chocolate. But then you just replace it with other stuff. You just eat like sweets, and I don't even like sweets, but I would eat like lollies instead, and I literally don't like them. Whereas now, that was one thing that was a bit weird to get used to, is like having no restrictions and being like, oh, I can actually literally eat whatever I want. And I feel like there's power in that, because you're like, yeah, I can have it if I want it, but I actually don't want it.
That's the key. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of it. And you can actually really have whatever you want.
Yeah.
This freedom, this self-trust, as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I feel like my emotions are way more regulated, because I'm not like going through that guilt cycle, because even though my body was probably telling me and giving me signals that I was full before, I was just ignoring them and just, continuing to binge and eat. Whereas now I like listen to my body. So it's good.
Yeah. And this is another very interesting thing about your body, because I will keep saying the same thing. People say that, oh, you don't need to listen to your body because it will make you binging. You shouldn't trust your body. It will make you overeating, eating all the crap in the world. However, what are we doing? We are tuning into our body. And what happens? You're putting half of the salad in the container. You are enjoying your chocolate, but you're not smashing the whole thing. You're actually putting it away. What about, by the way, any activities or like that parts of the program?
Yeah, so I've always been pretty good at like exercising, but like with the gym, I will push myself now, whereas like I felt like I was going through the motions before. And like particularly with weight training, like I know that it's super important for women, especially like as we get older. Everyone's talking about resistance training, but I would avoid them, because I'd be like, oh, I can't do weights, like no. But now like I'm like pushing my weights. I'm like able to do box jumps at the gym now, which I never would have dared try before. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm just not as self-conscious about my body or that fear of being seen. And I'm just doing it, like and without me even thinking about it. It's not like a conscious decision. It feels like natural to me. Like today with the salad, I was just like, yeah, I feel full, I'm just going to take the rest home. It's not like an inner battle, whereas before it would be like a conscious, like, eat it, don't eat it, it feels like it's all natural.
Those voices in your head, all the time. Like, shouldn't, maybe I'll just eat a little bit, but then after, like, I'll start tomorrow. Today I'm eating, like, all these voices, all these battles before,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And another thing, like, because we've like done a lot of like specific work about like body image and stuff, like it's like I used to have like constant intrusive thoughts. But if I was out like talking to a guy or socializing with new people, I'd be so self-conscious about my body. Like, do I look fat? I'm so gross, like I'm not good enough, and they're thinking this. And now honestly I don't get any of that. It's and I've been able to do things that I would have been so scared to do before, like have dates or like approach people or accept it when people approach me and be confident in that. Whereas like before I would like probably put my head down and be like, oh no, like I'm not good enough, or
This is the most important thing also about the way you feel, because you actually said very interesting thing. And like, this is what I also think super important, because I've been also through the situations before where I would lose weight and I would look super thin, but in my head, I'm still fat. I'm still fat, I don't look good. And all the time stressing out, did I gain weight? Did I not? Did I gain weight? Did I not? Like looking in the mirror, trying to find, is everything is fine? Like all these worries all the time. But so it's not just about the way we look, it's also what happens here in our head. And then like coming to the peace with the way you feel, with the way you look, this is very important, like the way you feel. And I remember, can you please share those stories when you said, when we started working, even before probably you lost much weight, you started getting compliments or something like this,
so as in like through this program?
Yeah, remember when you were saying that people started saying that you look good and everything?
Yes.
And
It
I
was
think it didn't happen before you like
no.
already lost much weight, right?
So like when I lost all that weight like years ago, like I don't know whether like people just didn't really like comment or say anything but like this time I feel like because I'm not so focused on how I look, like I'm being myself and my personality is coming out and my energy is like, I just feel like so much nicer to be around because I'm not trapped inside my own head. Like I'm so much more just enjoying life and being around people. And I think it's so weird. Like I'll be on a night out and I saw a friend who I hadn't seen in ages, and he was like, I literally had to do a double take. He was like, you look so good. And then he was like, honestly, you look the best you've ever looked. And then like random people the other week I was out and this guy came up to me and he was like, I just want to tell you I think you're really pretty. And I was just like, oh, I was like, thanks. I was like, that's such a nice thing to say. And like, yeah, just things like that have never happened before. And I just feel really grateful and I'm like accepting the compliments. Whereas before I would be like, oh no, like whatever, you're talking shit or, whereas now I'm like, thanks, that's a nice thing to say. And I feel good about it.
Oh my God, this is so nice. And
Yeah.
this is also what we talked about before, that before, even if you would lose weight and someone would tell you something, you won't accept these compliments. You won't accept this because they have something to do with the way we feel about ourselves. And if we don't accept it, then when someone says like it sometimes is annoying or we're stressing out or we think like, oh, why did they say this?
Yeah.
We don't accept them. But now, yes.
Yeah, it's honestly life-changing. And in terms of like dating and stuff, I feel because my self-worth has grown, my confidence has grown, I'm like able to kind of like look inwards and learning to give myself what I need. I'm pushing away the people that I don't need in my life. Like if I meet a guy and he's not, quite right or whatever, I'm like, nah, I don't need you in my life. Whereas before I would like really try to prove to them that I'm worth it and that, I'm this type of person. I've got a good personality, rah, rah. But now I'm just like, you know what? If you can't see it, that's actually your problem, not mine. Then I'm like, bye.
Like just this one sentence is like it was everything. Like it was everything. Just when you realize that before, instead of trying to convince someone, but please look at me, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, please notice me. Now it's just like, well, you can't see it.
Yeah, and it's I've never had that before in my life. Like, and that's one of the triggers that I've realized throughout this program for me is like I do look for men to validate my worth and validate like that I'm worth it and all the rest. And so it's been so liberating to kind of work on that part of me and to just be like, you know what, I don't need your approval. Like who are you? And just to go backtrack a little bit about the emotions as well, like about the emotional eating. One thing that I've really, really like benefited from is thinking of acknowledging the emotion. So early on in the program, we talk about if you're tired, you're tired, you need rest, you need sleep, you don't need to eat. Like it's not a signal to get food. And so now when I'm tired, rather than thinking, oh, I need to eat as much as I possibly can, I'm like, you know what, just go and chill, just lay down, have a 20-minute power nap, you're tired. So that's been really like a big shift as well, because I'm not eating needless calories or needless foods.
Absolutely. And this is exactly the same thing. Remember what we just literally said. When you're tuning in with your body, when you trust your body is never against you. And this is the problem. Why do we have all these voices? Why do we have all these constant battles in our head? Because we don't trust, and it's like the body is against us, but we're like, we are one. And it's like this inner battle all the time. However, when we place it all in, like we make them allies, we make them working together, when we make that self-love, body acceptance, and all those things, when they started like being aligned, you actually realize that they're your best friends, because your body tells you, I'm tired. It doesn't tell you go and eat, it tells you I'm tired. It's your brain before that used to think that, oh, okay, I need to go and smash like that chocolate bar, like third, actually not even third, sometimes fifth coffee a day. Like this is what I heard before, which is insane. Yeah, but now it actually tells you I'm tired. So what you can do, you can actually go and have rest. And after you feel amazing. So all you need to do is actually to listen to your body, but listen to it in the right way and understand what it says and use it. But we have sometimes these patterns engraved in our head that, okay, you feel this way, go and eat, and it becomes a cycle.
Yeah, it's such just a coping mechanism. It's just a go-to, isn't it? And it made me realize that like what I want emotionally, like love, affection, or whatever it is, excitement, entertainment, connection, I used to look to food for that. And momentarily it would make me feel amazing. I'm like, oh yeah, this chocolate's amazing or whatever. But ultimately it doesn't fulfill whatever need it is that's inside me. So being aware of that, and I'm like, okay, I can go within and I can just figure it all out without having to eat a packet of Tim Tams.
Absolutely. And our favorite phrase, weight loss is never about weight loss.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Also, I was yesterday when you sent me that picture with your jeans, it literally made my day. When I woke up in the morning and I saw that, I was like, I just like couldn't stop smiling. And it's like, I all the time think that one day I'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool. No, each time to me, it's like, I'm like, yeah. To me, it's like each time such a huge thing. Like I'm celebrating all the time this, and to me, it's like all the time, like the first time. So can you please share, like, did you count calories? Did you weigh yourself all the time? Did you measure yourself? Or like it just, how did it happen? Did you just like put on jeans and you realize that they're big? How did that happen?
Yeah, so before the program I used to use MyFitnessPal just to count calories all the time. But then I was like, I'm committing to this program. I'm just gonna trust the process. Deleted the app, haven't counted 1 calorie. I haven't kind of consciously like reduced portions. It's just happened like naturally, like I haven't even thought about it. And I weighed myself, I think, I can't even remember when we did it, maybe like a couple months ago, and like took my measurements, and I've written them down and forgotten about them. And I weighed myself once since, and I've lost 3 kilos, and I haven't weighed myself again, but I know that I've lost weight because my clothes are getting looser. So yeah, I should probably weigh myself again. But whereas before I would probably weigh myself once a week religiously and be constantly thinking about the scales, and it's so liberating to not have those constant thoughts, like like if you eat a slice of pizza, you're going to put on 10 kilos. If you're going to have a chocolate bar, you're going to put on 5 kilos. Like it's just,
you're literally, while you're eating, you're already like, okay, where it is.
Yeah, literally it's so good.
Like, okay, I'm eating, where it is.
Yeah. And then it consumes you. Like then I would like just spiral, like, and again, so like one of the modules is like social situations, and it made me realize actually I was avoiding some social situations, or with my friends would suggest to go to a certain place to eat, and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go there because of the food. Like I'll feel shit if I eat pizza, or if I have a pasta. I want to go somewhere where I can eat a salad. But like last night I went for a pizza place, and I just ate 3 slices of the pizza and then brought the rest of it home. And I'm like, I would never have done that before. I'd have probably eaten the pizza, and then eaten more, got home and eaten chocolate, or needed something sweet, needed a dessert. But I'm like, no, like I'm full, I don't need to. And I can actually enjoy the food rather than eating it while I'm feeling guilty and then punishing myself for it. So yeah, it's good.
I'm happy to hear that. And how did you feel when you saw that your jeans are big to you now? Like, what was it?
Felt so good. And I felt really proud of myself as well, because I was like, firstly, I was happy that I'm like, okay, it's working. And then I was like, yeah, just felt really proud of myself. And then sometimes when I like do sit and reflect on the last few months, like it can be a bit overwhelming, and I'm just like, oh, I can't even process these changes that are happening, because didn't even think it would be possible.
I love that so much. And can you please also share your feelings about your body now? Because before, as you started, it was like there were no acceptance, if you can say. Yeah.
Like their self-loathing was real. I was like, yeah, just hated my body, hated the way it looked, just like felt disgusting. But now, like, I genuinely don't have those thoughts. Like, and I've been on like, I've been on like a few dates kind of thing, and I've just had like way more confidence when it comes to being with a boy, which is like huge. Like it's so big for me. And like looking in the mirror, I would just avoid it at all costs. And like with the homework that you gave about like looking in the mirror and stuff, like it just made me realize that a lot of it is in my head. And I'm like, it's actually not that bad. Like it's not as bad as like this big giant whale that I picture in my head that is like grotesque. And I'm fine. I like focus on the things that I do like that are good about my body. So, and the fact that I can even find any is like amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, this is actually like also very interesting thing, as you said, like what we think about ourselves, the way we look, and the way we actually look. Sometimes it's like completely two different people. Like you wouldn't like you take carbon paper, you wouldn't even be able to match them because they're so different.
Yeah.
And it's like the ability to see yourself the way you are. And also this is what we're sometimes getting caught up in when we look in the mirror and we're like, okay, what's wrong? We look in the mirror from the perspective, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, where's fat? Where's a pimple? Where's hair or whatever? However, sometimes it's nice to actually look at myself and think, what's right with me?
Yeah. And also like going out, like I've started to wear like different kinds of clothes, like comes to a party. Like I'll wear like nice dresses or wear more fitted clothes, and I'm like not ashamed of my body, like I'm not trying to cover up with baggy things or so yeah, that's made a huge difference.
Love this. Can you please share maybe your things that work the best for you, what you find, like maybe your insights about the certain processes or certain sessions, maybe like what do you think made that sometimes flip or like helped you?
You know what, I think what it is the structure of the program. Like I feel like each week builds on the week before, and I would often find like we'd do a week, I can't remember what order it was, but we did one of the modules, and then I was like, okay, I think now what I need to work on is like snacking. I'm like, I feel like my portion control's under control, my emotional eating is reduced, and then I would notice like I actually do snack a lot. And then the next week was like invisible calories snacking. So I feel like the progression of the module is just so good, how it builds on the week before. And then like the way that it ends is so good. It's just such a good celebration of like moving forward, because I was a bit scared about the program ending. But you've got that covered, because it's like, you know, maintaining the weight loss, which can be the hardest bit, and like falling off the wagon, and that fear that like, you know, you're not going to be there like as constantly as before. And then like the last one about like feeling good about your body and stuff. So yeah, I think the structure of the program's really, really good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Was refining it for years.
Yeah, it is so good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And probably the last question is, what would you say or recommend to someone who still might be doubting, or because I totally understand this, like the skepticism and everything, because we've been through so much. I personally been through so much, and like probably lots of people, when you're for years, for decades, you're going through something and you can't get the result. After that, like you lose that belief, you lose that trust. And the worst thing that you start thinking that there's something is wrong with you. Because if you can't achieve the result, people take it like, oh, it means that something is wrong with me, like if something doesn't work. But however, it works. And what would you say to someone who is like in this doubts, or maybe this feelings, or they're like, oh, like I would be able to do it?
Honestly, sorry, dog's barking outside.
Wants to say something.
Yeah. I would say 100% trust the program. Like I wasn't like hugely skeptical going into it. Like I trusted it 100%, but like the results for me have like exceeded my expectations and actually impacted my life in so many other ways that I didn't expect. Like we were saying earlier, it makes you realize that it's not just about the weight loss, it's about everything else that's going on in your life. And it made me question my career, and like I was like, I am actually unhappy in my career, and so now I'm like making moves to change that aspect of my life and giving me confidence to do that. And it's honestly, it's like life-changing beyond the food thing. Like, and like for me as well, like with the dating thing and my relationship with boys, like it's just changed so much. And I think obviously the most important one is the relationship with myself. Like I have so much more trust for myself. Like I'm listening to my body more. And I actually feel good about myself. Like I'm proud that I'm able to say no to food. I'm proud that I'm not eating for the sake of it. And I was like reflecting on the list of goals that I wanted to achieve out of the program, because at the beginning we write down our goals, and I'm like, yeah, I've ticked off like 90% of them. And I'm like, and I'd even forgotten what I had written, and I'm like, yeah, I'll read about what they were. Let me find them.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow. It was like, hang on.
You have such a beautiful notebook.
So it was like we had to write down what our perfect result was. And it was like lose 10 kilograms, which is obviously going to take time. And like you said, like this is just the beginning. I feel like I'm being set up for like the future. And it's taken me all these years to put it on. It's not going to come off overnight. And I'm also undoing years of disordered eating, yo-yo dieting, fad dieting. It's going to take time for my body to get used to eating consistently and having that constant balance.
Yeah.
To feel confident about my body, tick. To be confident to date men and have fun with it, tick. To not focus on food, tick. To stop binge eating and to stop eating when I feel full, tick. To say no to food when I know I don't want it or need it, tick. And to not eat for the sake of it, tick. So like basically all of it. Like it's actually, honestly, I feel, yeah, it's so good.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I also like, I didn't know like what you wrote there, like what were like the results like that you wanted to achieve, and like knowing that you came there, it's brilliant. And as you said, the most important thing is not what I love to believe is that any program, anything that I do, it's not for now. It's the opposite. It's actually when the program ends, your results, they will just continue to grow and improve and get better. It's just like something that you put like the foundation for everything else in life. So it's like, it's not just the program ended and like, you're like, oh my God, now it's all gonna come back and everything. It's actually the opposite. Now you gain self-trust, self-confidence, you know what to do. You build it in, not only just like for now, like while I'm following all the meal plans, you know, putting all the calories in or something like this, but that I'll be able to do it on my own. I'll be able to keep going and improving my results.
Yeah.
Is the most important thing, because it's just the beginning of something much bigger, rather than let's achieve results now, lose all the water, muscles, juice diet, and okay, and after that what?
Yeah, and that's it as well. Like I feel like I've learned so much as well about my body and the process, the weight loss process and the exercise process, and you know, like weightlifting, you were explaining like it takes time for the muscles to come through, to burn that layer of fat off. You're not gonna see results a week after doing a deadlift. Like it is consistency, it's time, I just feel like I have more trust in that process now, whereas, you know, I would before do it for like 2 or 3 months and not see anything and then be like, oh God, what's the point, you know, chuck in the towel, and then the cycle starts again, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to start this time, I mean it this time. Whereas I feel now like that whole thing of healthy lifestyle, I get it, like it's clicked into place. So
I feel like a little fly just came into my throat. I'm like
protein.
Yeah, this is guys how we're eating on the program.
Yes, yeah.
Protein, that's how we're losing weight. This is our okay, thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate that you agreed to do this and share like some of your personal stuff, share your story. I am so extremely proud of your results. It was a pleasure to work with you each and every time. Again, we're not saying goodbye. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Right, how do we do it now? Pause or stop the recording?